Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyltreasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, coming to you live each and every Wednesday, only here on Oldies and More Radio, also broadcasting simultaneously live on the webcam on YouTube. Welcome to the All 60 show, September 21st, 2022. I play all my 1960s 45s. We lean soul on Wednesday evenings. Thank you all for being here. I think I got some cool records for tonight. Not many rare records, but some of them not that expensive. So if you don't have them, they are available on eBay or wherever you want to look, wherever you buy your records. So there's some expensive ones, but not many. But really some cool tunes that don't often get played. Maybe that one never gets played. We open up with a saxophonist, songwriter, arranger, producer, born Milton Bland, a.k.a. Monk Higgins. He was born in Menifee, Arkansas, first recording in 1964 for the Earth label, but other labels that he was on, Satellite Records, St. Lawrence, and Chess Records, just featured his first of three on the Chess label, a song he wrote with jazz trumpeter Burgess Gardner, a song called Different Strokes for Different Folks. And that was our opener tonight from June 1967, Monk Higgins on Chess. And he recorded into the early 80s until his death, which was on July 3rd of 1986. He was only 55 years old. He died from a respiratory disease. But you know, we remember all these great artists tonight. So our opener from June 67, Monk Higgins on Chess, Different Strokes for Different Folks. And we got to say, I wish DJ Crazy Cowboy, that's Ken, it was started a new show right before Johnny G, so we wish him well here on Oldies and More Radio. So let's open up here the vocal portion. This group is out of Detroit, Michigan. They were discovered by Ann Arbor DJ Ollie McLaughlin, and he signed them to his new label, Karen Records. And that label named after Ollie's daughter, Karen. Now, in 1963, they signed him in 63. They would have 10 releases on the Karen label. You know their biggest hit was their second release, a song called Cool Jerk, a big top 10 record for them, national record. But this is the follow-up. The A-side was called I Got to Handle It, but I like the B-side, written by group member Don Storball. This features Samuel George on lead. This charted number 18 on WDIA in Memphis, Tennessee. Our opener tonight on the vocal side, August 66. The Capitals on the Karen label. It's called Zigzagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, we open up the vocal portion there with the capitals of Cool Jerk Cool Jerk fame. That one there called Zigzagging, August 1966. That's the B-side to their second release, came out on the Karen record label. It was unfortunate that the lead singer of that group, Sam George, was fatally stabbed on March 17th of 1982 in a domestic dispute. He was only 39 years old, but he left us with some cool tunes. The Capitals there. As we continue here for this next singer, she was the lead singer of the Cliquettes, recorded for the Dice label, and later she was the lead of the Fashions, recorded for Warwick and Roulette and Elmore. Now, she would work for Aaron Schroeder's publishing company and did demos for many of the company's writers, which led to a solo career. Now, she has one on the Mala label, but she did 3 on the Warner Brothers label. This is her third, a tune written by her boss, Aaron Schroeder, along with Joseph Brooks and Walter Gold. Let's go to December 1965. Let's give a listen to Barbara English. Barbara English on the Warner Brothers label. It's called All the Good Times Are Gone. That's ex-lead of the Cliquettes on the Dice record label. That's Barbara English, a solo effort there. That's her third release on the Warner Brothers record label, released in December of 65. All the Good Times Are Gone. No, they're not. Not when you're tuned in here to the Vinyl Treasure Show from 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio. And what did I want to say here? That was her third release. But she has another release, which I'm looking for. It's actually an in-demand record by her on the Aurora label from 1965. That is an in-demand record by Miss Barbara English. We continue here. Lots of interesting history tonight on a lot of these records. I had time to research a lot of these records. I found out some stuff I really didn't know about, especially these 60s records that I'm not, well, I know more about the 1950s, of course. That is my staple, but I collected the 60s, all my life, but I never really researched a lot of these things. But here is a singer. He's from Newington, Georgia, first started recording as a members of the 1950s group, the Genies. You know, the Genies, they had a hit called Who's That Knocking? But his name was Roy Charles Hammond, and in 1965 he went solo, used under the name Roy C. Of course, he's best known for his R&B hit from '65 called "Shotgun Wedding." First came out on his own label, I think, Hammond Records. But I guess if you have it on the Black Hawk label. That was the R&B hit. But it first came out on his own Hammond label. It was picked up by Uptown Records, a subsidiary of Tower. That's how I have it. In July of 1966, as the single really started to sell on the first label. But anyway, I'm flipping it over. I'm going to give a listen to the B-side here, and this B-side was his second release on the Black Hawk label that came out in January '66. I don't know why Tower, they kind of combined his first two releases on the Black Hawk label, but this is from July '66. Let's give a listen to Roy C. on the Uptown label. It's called High School Dropout.
I spent 11 years, 5 long months in school, 4 more months, and you know I'll be through. 'Cause I don't wanna be a high school dropout, a high school dropout, a high school dropout. You know I study so hard. Yes, I do. Each and every night. Yes, I do. The kids are doing the journey. I'm tied up with homework. Oh yeah. High school dropout. Oh yeah. High school dropout. I spent 11 years, 5 more months in school, 4 more months, and you know I'll be through. 'Cause I don't wanna be a high school dropout, a high school dropout, a high school dropout. You know I study so hard. Yes, I do. Each and every night. Yes, I do. The kids are doing the journey, and I'm tired of it homework. Oh yeah. High school dropout. Oh yeah. High school dropout. I learned how to read and write and spell my name. I can spell Baltimore, New Orleans, Chicago, and the city. Oh, you know what I mean? San Francisco, Atlanta, GA, Charlotte, North Carolina, oh, yeah. New York, yeah. High school dropout. Now let me tell you, I can add high school dropout.
We'll send that one out to Evan Blatt in our YouTube chat room. He's adding that to his. Evan, that shouldn't be that hard for you to find. I tell you, tonight you're going to find a lot of the records that I'm playing tonight. You should be able to find. They're like probably the majority of them are under $50. There's a couple maybe in the $100 range or so, but you should be able to find that one there, and this one too. That was Roy C. Oh, we've got to talk about Roy C. July 1966. That's Roy C. with High School Dropout. That was actually also on his second release on Black Hawk, but I featured it on the Uptown label. Now, the interesting thing, when Shotgun Wedding was issued on the Hammond label, he issued it under Roy Hammond, but at the same time, a singer by the name of Clay Hammond had a completely different song called Shotgun Wedding that came out on the Duo Disc label. So when that was getting airplay, I think there was a big write-up in Cashbox or one of the trade magazines. So Roy C. voluntarily changed. Roy Hammond. He just voluntarily changed his name. He changed his name to Roy C., and it stuck. That's why he's called Roy C. Anyway, let's continue here for this next singer. He's originally from Waxhaw, Mississippi, sang in a gospel group before he embarked on a solo career in 1965. He signed with George Lerner's wonderful record label for 7 releases. And let's give a listen to his third. The writer credit on this is Maurice Dollison. Maurice Dollison, his real name, that was an alias, but his real name is Cash McCall. So Cash McCall wrote this tune. Here is Otis Clay. This one bubbled under at number 105, was number 95 on the Billboard on the Cashbox survey, but a big number 1 record. This was number 1 if you were listening on KOKY in Little Rock, Arkansas. We go to February 66. The sound of Otis Clay here on the All 60s edition. It's called I'm Satisfied.
We've been together, dear. We had heartaches and pain. Yes, we have. I tried to avoid misunderstanding, and I know you did the same. Yeah, but I'm so glad. Trouble don't last always. I'm satisfied. Just loving you, I'm so satisfied. I know I can always find me someone new. Yes, I could. Oh, I realize, darling, that you could do the same thing too. Yes, you could. But we have a love, beyond compare, and I'm satisfied just loving you. I'm so satisfied. Sometimes my friends try to run my life. They're always coming around giving me advice. I listen once to my friends' advice, but it's not gonna happen twice. There's an old saying, baby, that true love will never die. I know that it won't. And oh, I know our love will grow stronger as time goes by. Yes, it will. But I'm so glad it's all over now, and I'm satisfied just loving you. I'm so satisfied just loving you. Everything is gonna be alright. Yes, it will. You know.
That's Mr. Otis Clay. Otis Clay, that's his third of 7 on the wonderful record label, February 66 release. Otis Clay with I'm Satisfied. How about a twin spin for Mr. Otis Clay? We just heard his third. Here's the B-side to his 5th of 7. This was written by Chicago-based saxophonist and arranger Eddie Silvers. Let's go to June 1967 now for Mr. Otis Clay. This is a twin spin on the wonderful record label. The song is called Show Place.
Cash in the bank, and my hard work to thank for the show place I call home. I have a key to paradise you see, and that show place I call home. But my friends don't see
That's our twin spin there from Mr. Otis Clay. That's the B-side to his third release on the wonderful label Showplace from June 1967. Let's continue now. I got a girl group sound up next. I'm guessing these gals are out of Newark, New Jersey, because it came out on Joe Evans' Carnival label, which was out of Newark, New Jersey. Now they're called the Symphonies. Now this is their first of two from November of 1969, written by Winfried Lorenzo Lovett, and he was a member of the Manhattans that also recorded for the Carnival record label. So let's go to November of 69. These are the Symphonies on Carnival Records. It's called Need Someone to Love. There's Soul Ballad there by the Symphonies, November 1969 release on the Carnival record label. Need Someone to Love is the name of the tune. Now, this was re-released in early 1970 with a different flip. That is an in-demand record if you have that second release from 1970. I'm not sure if I have it. I might have it. I got to check around. You know, I'm finding out what I have and what I don't have. But the first press... but this is the first press, and there's a flip side. The flip side is an instrumental by Maurice Simon and the Piemen. It's called The Get-Go, which I have featured as an opener on, you know, when I used to do the end of the month 60s show. But those from November 69, the Symphonies on the Carnival label, Need Someone to Love. Now, before Clarence Carter embarked on a solo career, which began in 1967 with his releases, I think first on the Fame label. He was part of a duo recording as Clarence and Calvin, and sometimes it was reversed as Calvin and Clarence. But they first signed with the Fairlane label with 2 releases in June of 61, I think when they first started. Now, then in late 62, they signed with Don Robey's Duke record label for 4 releases. Now, Calvin was Calvin Scott, and he also had his own solo efforts beginning in 1969 with releases on Atco and Stax. But here is the duo's third of 4 on the Duke label, and the third of 4 on Duke, and on 2 of the releases, they were known as the CNC Boys. So you had Clarence and Calvin on 2 of those 4, and the other 2 were the CNC Boys, as they are on this release from June 64. Let's give it a spin. The CNC Boys, a.k.a. Clarence and Calvin, on Duke Records. It's called My Life. Yeah, those are the CNC Boys, June 1964. It's on the Duke record label. Song entitled My Life. That's Clarence Carter and Calvin Scott as the CNC Boys. The flip side is a cover of the Valentinos, It's All Over Now, which I think was the A-side of that 45. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for this next group out of New York City, and they only had 2 singles during their career. This is their debut single, came out on Al Silver's Herald label, produced by Mike Lewis. It features Ernest Stevens on lead. This one came out in December 63. These are the Townsmen on the Herald label. It's called Just a Little Bit.
A little bit know what I mean.
Hey, girl. Hey,
Oh, darling, how I love you so. Don't you know? Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, surrender to me.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, surrender to me.
You know what I want.
Come on, baby, you know what I want. Well, if you gave me just a little bit of your sweet love, just a little bit of your sweet kiss, just a little bit of you, baby.
Hey, girl, darling, how I love you so. Don't you know? Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, surrender to me.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, surrender to me.
Surrender to me.
Come on, baby, you know what I want. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
They're called the Townsmen. The Townsmen on the Herald label, December 63. It's called Just a Little Bit. That's actually the intended B-side. Ernest Stevens, the lead singer on that. But the flip side is a nice ballad. It's more doo-woppy for my Saturday night show. So if you're into 50s and early 60s, a kind of a vocal group harmony sound, you want to tune in to that show Saturday nights at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight, but I go 9 to 1, normally 9 to 1. It's normally, well, I was earlier. I'm cutting it down a little bit, but we do overtime as we do here. But they have another release on the Columbia label from January 65. Gotta Get Moving. That's a pretty good one they do also. Those are the Townsmen. And we move on here, and and this is a question. Probably, let's see, I think Mark Speck could answer this, and maybe Warren also. I think if Reed were in the chat, he probably would be. I think those are the two that can easily handle this. Can you name the 3 female singers that recorded for Sam Cooke's SAR label? Now, those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're cheated a little bit because you know the record that I'm playing. So you have to name the other two singers that recorded for Sam Cooke's SAR record label. And I'll give you a second there if anybody knows. But anyway, we'll just say it here. We don't want to waste time here. One was Jackie Ross, and the other one was Linda Carr, and the third one I was going to say 3. I should have put the cap on the webcam there. But the third gal to record for the label was Patience Valentine, and she was a local Los Angeles singer who seems to have kind of slipped into obscurity since there are so few releases, since her releases on the SAR label. But she had 4 on SAR, and this is probably her easiest release, which is her third from May 63. Let's give a listen to Patience Valentine on the SAR label. It's called Unlucky Girl.
Get into these spots. I meet a guy, yeah, I like him a lot, but you can bet he is married or too old for me. My folks don't want him much too full and sometimes, yeah, their love isn't sure. Oh, how I wanna find a single man. I want the one to make me tingle when he holds my hand. Then I'll be the unlucky girl. Oh no, I'll be the unlucky girl. I'll be the unlucky girl. I said I will change my ways. Oh, you know I will. I'll be the unlucky girl. I'll be the unlucky girl. More than the unlucky girl.
That's the third of four for Patience. Did I say Patrice? It's Patience. Where am I getting Patrice from? Patience Valentine. That's what Johnny G doesn't have patience. Well, I do have patience. I do. Patience Valentine there on the SAR label. That's Sam Cooke's SAR record label. That is the third of four. The easiest one by her from May 1963. Unlucky Girl is the name of the tune. Let's go to Detroit, Michigan now for this next group. Although the lead singer, he was originally from Birmingham, Alabama. He was born in Birmingham, but he relocated to Detroit, Michigan, and he created a group. He called them the Arabians. First recording for Johnny May Matthews' Northern label back in 1960. Also issued that record on Northern, which I don't have it. I have it on Twin Star and the Jam label. But in 1962, he had more releases, rare ones, on the Carry label and Landrod. I have his releases on Landrod, but some of the masters were sold to other labels like Le Mans. That's a good one too. Both sides of that record are good. And Jamaica, that is another one. I think his group was called the Fifes though on that one, which brings us into 1966 when he signed with Lou Beatty's Mary Jane label for 8 releases. Now, some of these releases go for big bucks. I don't know if I have any of the really expensive ones, but this was his first of 8, written by label owner Lou Beatty. It features Edward Hamilton on lead. We go to 1966 for Edward Hamilton and the Arabians. It's on the Mary Jane label. This label looks bonkers if you look at it too long, but it's called My Darling Baby.
Oh yeah, alright. Darling, darling, you got the key to open up my heart and set my love free. Darling, darling, you've got the key to open up the door to sweet ecstasy. 'Cause you're my baby, yeah. Baby, my darling baby, darling baby. Talking about your baby, baby. Sweet, sweet baby, darling baby. Now here are some things I want you to know. You are my baby and I love you so. When I'm sad about you. Everybody knows I'm mad about you. And when I fight, girl, I fight about you. Then I dream all night about you. 'Cause you're my baby. Sweet, sweet baby. Darling baby. I said baby. My darling. Darling baby. All right. Now girl, when I'm blue about you. And everything I do it for you. And when I cry about you. And I do believe I'd die without you. 'Cause you're my baby. Baby. Yeah, you're my baby. Darling baby. Lord have mercy, baby. Baby. Sweet, sweet baby. Darling baby. Listen to me, baby. Talking to you, baby. Somebody help me, baby. Ooh, baby.
That's the sound of Edward Hamilton and the Arabians. That's the first of 8 on the Mary Jane record label, 1966 release. It's called My Darling Baby. How about a twin spin on Edward Hamilton and the Arabians? Let's give a listen to their fourth of 8. This one again written and produced by the label owner Lou Beatty. This one from 1967, Edward Hamilton and the Arabians on Mary Jane Records. It's called Thank Your Mother.
Have you seen the way a stream flows? Do you wonder why wind blows? Let me tell you now. Go home, thank your mother, thank your mother. Have you seen the way a bird flies? Oh yeah. Do you wonder why the sunrise? Try to tell you. Go home, and thank your mother. Oh, thank your mother. Stand before her and look in her eyes. Ask her for anything that you need, and Lord, if she has it, if you deserve it, she'll give it and be pleased. Oh yeah. Have you seen the sky up above us? Do you wonder why God loves us? I'm trying to tell you. Go home, and thank your mother. Thank your mother. Thank your mother. Thank your mama. Ooh, thank your mother. Go home. Thank your mother. Yes, thank your mother. Ooh, thank your mother. Go home. Go home, children. Thank your mother. Yeah. Go home right now. Go home. Thank your mother. Thank your mother.
That's our twin spin with Edward Hamilton and the Arabians. That's their fourth of 8 from 1967. That's on the Mary Jane record label. Thank Your Mother, as I always do that. Of course, Lou Beatty also owned the La Beat label. Some cool records on La Beat, especially by the Masqueraders. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes tonight here on the All 60s show. Those of you tuned in on Oldies and More Radio, also those of you watching Johnny G on YouTube. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that on the YouTube broadcast. Also, if you're new, please subscribe. Subscribers are creeping up. Thank you, those of you that have subscribed this week on to the Vinyltreasure show. Been picking them up every week, and we're looking for more. So tell your friends about it. Let's continue now as got to. There you go. I got this is, it's almost like a history lesson here. A lot of the people that play the records, they don't say anything about the artists. And a lot of my listeners in my chat room, they are very educated listeners. I have a lot of educated listeners. Those of you that are new to learning about the music, and Mark Speck and Warren and Reed and others in the chat room, they are very attuned to the 60s. A lot of them also attuned to the 50s. But this is the 60s show. Now, there's a little bit of history about this next 45 and this next gal. This gal, she was born in Statesboro, Georgia, but at 18 years old, she relocated to New York City and signed her first record deal. her first record deal in 1954 to record for Lamp Records. She has a solo release on the Lamp label. I don't have it, but I have her second release because in 1956 she replaced Beulah Robertson in the Cookies, and they had a release on the Lamp record label. But I think the Cookies at that time were Darlene McCrae and Dorothy Jones. Now, the Cookies, they moved over to Atlantic Records, and while she was at Atlantic, she would eventually become a backup singer for Ray Charles, who also has a ton of releases on the Atlantic label. And she then became a member of his backup, the girl group. They were called the Raylettes. Now, you hear her voice. Specifically, you hear her voice on Ray Charles's song "Nighttime is the Right Time." That screaming gal there, that is this gal. But she eventually ended up having a love affair with Ray Charles, and there was a love child that was born. His name was Charles Wayne Hendricks. He was born October 1st of 1959, but then their relationship, it was falling apart. She began using alcohol and heroin. It was affecting her performances with the Raylettes, and she was eventually fired. Ray Charles said, "You're out of here. Get out. You're not a member of the Raylettes anymore." Then in 1965, which brings us to this 45, she signed with Mercury Records for 5 releases, and this was her first release, arranged by Gene Miller, produced by Ray D. and Boo Frazier. This charted regionally. This was a big number 11 record on XCRB if you were listening in Baja California. Let's go to April 1967 for Margie Hendricks. Margie Hendricks on the Mercury label. The song is called "I Call You Lover, But You Ain't Nothing But a Tramp."
When I call you a lover,
That's her first of five, the first of five from Margie Hendricks. It's on the Mercury record label, April 1967 release. I Call You Lover, But You Ain't Nothing But a Tramp is the name of that one. Now, in 1966, she would marry jazz singer Robert Fulson. He was the brother of Lowell Fulson, and on September 7th of 1967, it was unfortunate. She was in a car accident with her husband, and both survived, but she had some hearing loss. But then Mercury decided to drop her, and unfortunately she ended up divorcing her husband in 1968. But she did sign one more record contract, and that was with Soundstage 7. She had two singles. I think one of them is an in-demand record by her, but they dumped her, the label dumped her, and when she finally became unstable and she continued to spiral for the rest of her life using drugs and alcohol, and it's unfortunate that she would die in New York on July 14th of 1973, and she was only 38. She was 38. There was no autopsy performed, but most sources claim that it was a heroin overdose. They couldn't even verify that, but really a very sad ending for this gal, Margie Hendricks. But we remember her here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue now for this next vocal trio out of Chicago. They were Robert Lewis, Carl Washington, and the lead singer of this group. His name is Larry Brownlee. Now, I featured their debut single, I think it was on the July 22nd show of this year, a request for Jerry Nazen. He requested the song Michael. That was their first of five and probably their their biggest hit. Now, it was on Harry Mitchell's Kelmac label. Now, this was their third release, and for some reason, this record has two separate numbers on Kelmac. It came out as 1007 and 1008. So check your copy, because the 1007 is not that easy to find, but really, who cares? But I have it on 1008, written by the lead singer. His name is Larry Brownlee. Larry Brownlee on lead. This charted regionally. This was number 25 on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going to send this one out to Jerry Nazen. If you ever heard this tune by the CODs, June 1966, the CODs with I'm Looking Out for Me.
Hey, all right now, look out, look out. I'm looking out. I'm looking out for me. I'm looking out. I'm looking out for me. Now you're telling me about all of your friends and how their love can be true. I don't wanna hear about Sally or Sue. I just wanna know about you. 'Cause I'm looking out for nobody else, baby. I'm looking out for me. Yeah, now I'm looking out. Got to have your love. I'm looking out for me. Time after time, you're telling me that our love should never be. Though your words are strong with lots of saying, but that don't bother me. I'm looking out, baby. Looking out. Say, got to have your love right now. I'm looking out, baby. Got to get your love somehow. Yeah, yeah. Out. I'm looking out for me. Yeah, now I'm looking out. I'm looking out for me. Now you think you're strong 'cause you're doing me wrong, but my day will come along. looking out, baby. I don't mean maybe. Hey, you know I love you.
They're called the CODs. Whoops. CODs there. That's their third release on the Kelmac record label. I'm Looking Out for Me from June of 1966. Larry Brownlee on lead there. Now, he would later, I think, Mark, you mentioned it, become a member of the Lost Generation. That was in 1970 with releases on the Brunswick label, and also a member of Mystique. Mystique that recorded for Curtom. That was in 1977. Now, another tragic ending here. Unfortunately, he lead singer Larry Brownlee, he was murdered on April 17th of 1978 on the tough streets of Chicago. So maybe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But again, we remember here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now we continue here. Let's go back up to Detroit, Michigan for this group, previously recorded as the Delphis on the Checkmate record label. And they included Annette Sterling Beard, Gloria Williams, Rosalind Ashford, and Martha Reeves. Now, Martha, she landed a secretarial position at Motown Records, and the group was able to have a release on the Motown subsidiary Melody label as the Vells, but that was minus Martha Reeves. Now, once Gloria Williams left the group, they became a trio, and they ended up backing up Marvin Gaye on his big hit, a cool tune he does called Stubborn Kind of Fellow. That was in 1962. Now, in September of 62, they had their debut single on the Motown subsidiary Gordy record label. I like the song too. It's called I'll Have to Let Him Go. But let's give a listen to their 8th release. This is the 8th of 27 releases between 1962 and 1973 for Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Now, this charted number 34 on Billboard, 31 on Cashbox, a big number 7 record on WABB if you were listening in Mobile, Alabama, November 1964. The sound of Motown here on the Gordy label, Martha and the Vandellas with Wild One.
Wild one, I understand. I know you've never had a chance.
We'll send that one out to a DJ Kendo in our YouTube chat room there. The great sound of Martha and the Vandellas. That tune written by William Stevenson and Ivy Joe Hunter. It's actually taken from an LP called Wild One. That one there from November 1964. Martha and the Vandellas on the Gordy label with Wild One. Johnny G is a wild one on Wednesday evenings right here on Oldies and More Radio from 9 to midnight, and also on Saturday evenings on YouTube and Oldies and More Radio beginning at midnight. Let's continue now. For this next group, they formed while attending Booker T. Washington High School in Memphis, Tennessee. First recording for the Stax label in 1964. Then they moved over to Volt Records in 1965. Let's give a listen to their third release on the Volt label. It features John Gary Williams on lead. This charted number 45 on WAOK in Atlanta, Georgia. We go back to April 1966 for the sound of the Mad Lads. The Mad Lads on Volt Records. It's called Come Closer to Me.
When you're in bed with your brother, and your sister, she's down on you too, baby, you feel the whole world is against you, baby. This is what I want you to do. Come closer to me, closer to me, closer to me, closer to me. Now when your next door neighbors are talking about you, making you feel kinda small, girl, so small, making you feel so unwanted, unwanted, till nobody loves you at all. Come closer to me, closer to me, closer to me, closer to me. I wouldn't be love without you. I'm the right guy, can't you see? When you're in need of a loved one, darling, darling, come closer to me. Now when your friends all turn against you, leaving you so all alone, making you feel so unwanted, baby. Just reach for your telephone, it'll bring you closer to me, closer to me, it'll bring you closer to me, my baby, closer to me, I need you closer to me, come on, my baby, closer to me,
That's the sound of the Mad Lads here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, April 1966 release. And that one there, that's their third release on the Volt label. The lead vocal there by John Gary Williams, Come Closer to Me, is the name of the tune. You know, the lead singer there, John Gary Williams, he had to leave the group to serve in the military between 1966 and 1968. He would rejoin the group upon his return from Vietnam, and he would remain with the group until they broke up in 1972 when he began his solo career. I think there was another member that was also drafted into the service, but they didn't want him back in the group for some reason. I don't know. But Mark Speck wants an instant request here as we flip it over here. You know, I can do instant flip sides here since I don't have, you know, it's not like I have a ton of requests. And I put the requests usually if I get requests from you, the listeners, and I'll put them toward, I have them on my cheat sheet. So when I see you in the chat, I will play them. But Mark wants Johnny G to flip over this 45. And we're going to do it here. Let's flip over. Let me set it up here, folks. So we're going to flip over the Mad Lads Come Closer to Me from April 66 on the Volt label and give a listen to the flip side. It's called Sugar Sugar. This is for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Instant requests here from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That is the flip side to Come Closer to Me. Song entitled Sugar Sugar from April 1966, a third release for the Mad Lads on the Volt label. We continue now for this next 45, produced by South African trumpeter and flugelhornist Hugh Masekela. It's also on his label. He was the owner of the Chizza record label, but I know nothing about this group. They're called the Bwanas, B-W-A-N-A-S. The Bwanas from November 1966. It's called Pretty Little Girl.
Everything else
That's on Hugh Masekela's Chizza Records there, November 1966. They're called the Bwanas. The Bwanas with Pretty Little Girl. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes tonight as we continue here for this next, this is actually a male-female duet, as both recorded for the Checker label. Now, the gal, she's originally from St. Louis, Missouri. She first recorded for Bobbin Records back in 1962. Her name is Fontella Bass, but she met up with pianist Oliver Sane and his band, who was also originally out of St. Louis, Missouri. Now, Sane, what did I say? It's San or Sane? Sane's vocalist was someone by the name of Bobby McClure, and he took both the pair, Fontella and Bobby, to Chicago, where he produced their first release. And the song was called "Don't Mess Up a Good Thing," which was a big R&B hit for the duo in January of '65. But this was the follow-up. I think this is actually the B-side. Well, maybe this is the A-side. I don't know, but I like this side. This one charted number 17 if you were listening on KDIA out in Oakland, California. Let's go to May 1965 for Fontella Bass and Bobby McClure. This is on the Checker label. The song is called "Don't Jump."
Don't jump out of the skillet into the fire. Those girls you're making eyes at, you only see them in their Sunday best. But you see me walking, baby, from day to day, washing and cooking and all the rest. Your mind tempted on changing and getting somebody new. But will I be willing to sacrifice and go through the things that I go through? Think twice, 'cause you just may jump from the skillet into the fire. You see those playboys are looking at you, baby, dressed in fancy clothes. But I'm just a working man, baby. But to you is where my money goes. I know you may get excited when they flash their big bag of gold. But will they go and ditch to keep hearing the styles and sacrifice their own needs just to see you smile? Think twice, yeah, 'cause you just may jump from the skillet into the fire. Don't jump out of the skillet into the fire. They may look a little better than I'll paint it up like a neon sign. But what I'm offering you, baby, you can't buy in a cat and dime. I know you've been thinking about leaving the woman to find yourself another mate. The offer may sound good from those fast-talking guys, but will it still be there when the morning sunrise? Think twice, yeah, 'cause you just may jump from the skillet into the fire. Don't jump, baby, don't you jump. Don't jump, no, baby, don't you jump.
I like that record. I want to get up and dance here. Sometimes, I'm telling you, Johnny G, I get involved in my show, if you can't tell. But I love that tune there. That cool duet with Fontella Bass and Bobby McClure, May 1965, on the Checker label, song entitled Don't Jump. Now, the very next release for Fontella Bass after this was her signature song, a great tune released in August 65 called Rescue Me. Now, Bobby McClure, he would have his own solo efforts on Checker. Now, his biggest hit was a song called Peak of Love that came out on Checker in September of 1966. So stay tuned for that. You know, Johnny G will play hits here on the program, but I have to be careful for the YouTube police. They are always out there looking to arrest Johnny G for copyright infringement. So I kind of tread lightly. I'm trying to think, did I play a big hit yet tonight? I don't think, did I? Did I play? I don't know. Santi, did I play a big hit tonight? And to answer Jimmy Amato's question, no, I did not. The contours for next week, and I'm still looking for the Janice Christian. You have to bear with me because my 60s records, they're not in great they're not in great shape. That means they're not organized as well as my 50s stuff. So it takes me, if you look here, if I show you around the room, I got piles of our alphabetized piles of 60s records. You might see them on the back of I even have the W's on the back of the seat of the bike behind me, the exercise bike that I got to start riding, by the way. But let's continue here. So as Mark Speck picked up, dual duets here, as I try to be creative as much as I can be here on the Vinyl Treasure. So how about another male-female duet, as both of these artists were on the Brunswick record label, although he started in 1961 as a member of the Duquets, but he went solo when he signed with VJ Records in 62, and you know his big hit called The Duke of Earl that somebody in my chat room was begging me to play that I refused, but releases followed on Constellation and Checker before he signed with Brunswick, which was in early 1967. Now, the gal, she signed with Brunswick in February of 67, and she would have her biggest hit in May of 68, a record that I like and my aunt purchased in 1968, a song called Love Makes a Woman. So I might want to play that because I like that record. So here is another cool combination on the same label. It's Gene Chandler and Barbara Acklin. And they would have 3 releases together. This is their first, a song they both wrote together with Carl Davis, who also produced it. This charted number 30 on the R&B chart, a big number 5 record if you were listening on KATZ in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's go back to February 68 for Gene Chandler and Barbara Acklin on the Brunswick label. It's called Show Me the Way to Go.
If there's hate where there should be love, or so many sins that I'm guilty of, if I'm lost in the jungle of life and my way is out of sight, show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to find my love.
If there's jealousy where there should be understanding, and if my ways be a little mending, if my love is fading away and there's no difference between night or day,
show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to find my love. Darling, I'm giving you all of my love. That's what I'm guilty of. Barbara,
Here I stay with open arms, ready to take, baby, all your charms.
if I'm lost in the jungle of life, and my way seems out of sight, show me the way to go. Show me the way to go. Oh, Barbara, won't you show me the way to go?
Please, Jesus, show me the way.
Baby, won't you show me the way to go?
As Gene Chandler and Barbara Acklin there, February 68. That's their first of three on the Brunswick label. Show Me the Way to Go is the name of the tune. Johnny G shows you the way to go every Wednesday night right here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. Again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell your friends about the show. Nobody does this. Nobody does what Johnny G does as we continue here for this next group out of Houston, Texas. First recorded for the local Ovid label in 1967, but in 1968 they would have their biggest hit with their first release on the Atlantic label. It was called The Tighten Up, and they would have a total of 14 releases for Atlantic between 1968 and 1971. Let's give a listen to their seventh release, a tune written and produced by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. This was a number 98 record on Cashbox, number 87 on the Billboard chart, and number 36 on the R&B chart, and a big number 5 record on WMBM. If you were listening in Miami, Florida, we go to August 1969 for Archie Bell and the Drells. This is on Atlantic. It's called My Balloon's Going Up.
Yeah.
August 1969 release there for Archie Bell and the Drells on the Atlantic record label. That's their seventh release, their 7th of 14 on Atlantic Records. My Balloon's Going Up is the name of that one. And we have a touch of the 70s here. I normally don't feature many records from 1970, but this one came out, believe it or not, in April of 1973. But the group is out of Chicago. They were formed by the lead singer. His name is Raymond Buckner. And in 1966, they had a release as the Buckner Brothers on the, is it the Sania or Sania, S-A-I-N-A label? Some of these labels, Johnny G cannot pronounce. But then they changed their name to Buck and the 16th Movement. And this song, written by the lead singer, his name is Raymond Buckner. This is from April 73, although it doesn't sound like, to me, a record released in 73. Santi, you can be the judge. It's Buck and the 16th Movement. This is on the Supreme record label. It's called Trust Me This Night.
Don't you smile? Why do you frown? What in the world could have happened to make you so very blue? Hey, a sweet girl like you. Did you give your love to some clown? And now he's put you down. Oh, baby, I'm standing here willing to give all the love you need, all the love you want. Here I am, standing here. Take me, won't you, baby? I want to love you, child. I want you, just trust me tonight, and I'll make it alright. Say you'll be mine, say you'll be mine this one night, and I'll make it alright. For you see, I understand all the pain that love can bring. Oh, baby, I want to love you. Oh, won't you just trust me tonight? Hey, I'm gonna make it alright. I wanna hold ya, oh baby. I wanna get to know ya. Oh baby, what do you say? Will you take my hand and come my way? Oh baby, oh won't you trust me this night? Trust me. Oh, won't you trust me this night? Trust me, baby. Oh, won't you trust me this night? Ooh, oh, won't you trust me this night? Why don't you, baby? Won't you trust me this night? Come on, baby, yeah.
That's August 19th. No, yeah, April. No, what am I saying? August. April 1973 for Buck and the 16th Movement. That's on the Supreme record label. It's called Trust Me This Night. Now, there's another single. I think this might also have been released on the Playboy label in 1974 as done by Buck. Anyway, let's continue here. Let's go out to Los Angeles, California. We go for this next gal. Now, she has 2 releases on the Uni label. Now, this is her first was a song called I Feel Love Coming On, from April of 1968. And this one that I'm playing was released in October of 1968. Now, her name is Laurie Hampton, and I lean to mark spec on this one here, because I think that she is really Felice Taylor, because there isn't I Feel Love Coming On released in the UK also, I guess. I don't know. But to me, and I'll tell you why, because when I look at this record, all the stuff on the label looks like the Felice Taylor releases on Mustang. The writers are Barry White and Paul Politi, arranged by Gene Page, produced by Bob Keane, and the voice also sounds like Felice Taylor. I think they're one and the same. That's what I say. But I'm actually worried about this, playing this record, because John Manship had a copy of this, but it sounds horrible. It's styrene, and maybe it was just the styrene press, but then there was another press, or there was another one that didn't have a picture of the label, but it was like muted out. So I'm just wondering if I'm going to get a copyright issue with this. So if the show doesn't post, or it's not up, I'll type it up on my, I can pin it up on my YouTube wall there and say what happened. I'd have to remove the song, but I'm playing it anyway because I like it. It's from October 68. It's Laurie Hampton on the label, but I think it's Felice Taylor. It's on the Uni label. It's called Fragile Handle with Care.
To fall for you, so baby, let me warn you of all the heartaches that I've gone through. I gave love a chance and it let me down. I've got to know which way to go, 'cause my heart is, my poor heart is fragile. Handle with care. Understand what I feel inside. Oh, baby, loving you and wanting you is something I can't ever deny. Oh, I still recall that heartbreaking fall. Be true to me, can't you see that my heart is, my poor heart is
She does sound like Diana Ross too, I have to say, but she's Laurie Hampton, That's her second release on Uni Records, Fragile, Handle with Care. That one there from October 1968. Two good records on that by that gal. Of course, again, Barry White wrote it with Paul Politi. Also arranged by Gene Page. And again, but Bob, I'm telling you, everything is like the Mustang 45s by Felice Taylor. Anyway, I didn't see any copyright issue on there, so maybe I'm okay. They usually turn up later in the show, but I would have gotten one right away, but they didn't do anything. So let's continue here for this next singer. He's originally from Battle Creek, Michigan, and this was his debut single. Came out on the Weiss, W-E-I-S label out of Chicago, Illinois. Now, this singer was interviewed when this 45 was released in February of 1970. And he said that his biggest ambition in life was to have a #1 record in his hometown. That's what he wished for. And, you know, his wish eventually came true, because in the week of May 2nd of 1970, he had a #1 record on WKFR in Battle Creek, Michigan, with this song that he co-wrote and produced. It came out in February of 1970. His name is Bobby Holley, Holley. This is on the Weiss record label. It's called Baby, I Love You.
Sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Look at
Touch of the 70s here on the All 60s edition. That's Bobby Holley, February 1970 on the We Is, as Mark Speck corrects Johnny G, on the We Is label. Song entitled Baby I Love You. Now, this singer, Bobby Holley, he was also an activist to fight crime, killings, and bullying in Battle Creek, Michigan. He would bring awareness to this by walking or crawling to places like Lansing or Detroit or Chicago and Kalamazoo. And his whole goal, I mean, he would crawl and walk like for days. He would do this, and so we can live in a better peace, love, unity, and harmony as citizens in all communities. And there was an article, I think, from February 8th of 2018 in the Battle Creek Inquirer. He was 72 years old when they interviewed him on that interview, so I didn't see that he passed away since. So I wonder if he's still doing all that activism. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And this gal, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, she began singing gospel, and she relocated to Los Angeles, California, began as a background vocalist, but made her recording debut in a kind of duetting with Bobby Darin on the song Who Can I Count On from 1963. That was never really issued. I think it just came out as one of those like promo singles with a picture sleeve. But she was singing with Bobby Darin on that Capitol release. But she would have her debut single on the Tell Disc label. It was called The Doorbell Rings. But then she signed with Capitol Records in 1963 for 4 releases. This was her third, a tune written by Rudy Clark, as a Mark Speck meant, first done by the Rubies on the VJ record label. This is from April 1964. Let's give a listen to Mary Clayton. Mary Clayton on the Capitol label. It's called La La. Is it JC? Wait. How do I pronounce JACE? Where's all my pronunciation teachers? But it's called La La JC Song, parentheses, Spanish Boy. This is Mary Clayton.
La 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 J, la la J, there was a Spanish J, la la J, oh la Spanish J, la la J.
There's a little Spanish boy around my way. Can't understand a word he says. He walks around with his radio, shouting while he listens to a Spanish show.
La 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 J, la la J, there was a Spanish J, la la J, oh little Spanish J, la la J.
One day I walked over and said hello. He let me listen to a Spanish show. I got the feeling through and through, and now it got me just a shouting too.
La 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 J, la la J, there was a Spanish J, la la J, oh little Spanish J, la la J.
I'd like to thank that little Spanish boy, 'cause I discovered another joy.
That's Mary Clayton. Mary Clayton from April 1964 on the Capitol record label, song entitled La La Jase Song, Spanish Boy. And that one there, produced by TM Productions, penned by Rudy Clark. Now, she would be best known for singing on the Rolling Stones classic tune, Gimme Shelter. Now, she continued to have releases on labels like Ode and as a featured vocalist in the Brothers and Sisters of Los Angeles, also on the Ode label. But let's flip over this 45. As I didn't have one ready, you were worried, huh? So we flip over this 45. Because I'm telling you, it's another Rudy Clark pen tune, and this is actually the original version of this song, released prior to Chuck Jackson's version of this on One, which was released a month later, and other groups did this. The Five Card Stud did it in 1967 for Smash. The Love Notes recorded it for Cameo in 1966, and there's a rare version by the Entertainers on the Bomar label, but this is the original version of the song from April 64, Mary Clayton on Capitol Records, and the original version of Beg Me. As our twin spin on Mary Clayton there, an A and a B side, but that's the original version from April 1964. Mary Clayton on the Capitol label, the original version of Beg Me. Beg Johnny G to play more 1960s 45s out of his collection. I'll do it. I will do it wholeheartedly here as we continue here. Now, many of you have been asking Johnny G for more Billy Stewart 45s. I think it was Jerry Nason, you mentioned that last week. Also, I know John Ferry also enjoys Billy Stewart. We all do. Originally from Washington, D.C., he was discovered by Bo Diddley. Now, last week I featured both sides of his 9th release on Chess Records. I played Sittin' in the Park, and then the flip side called Once Again. Let's give a spin to his 2nd release on the Chess record label. This is a song he wrote. This was number 79 on Billboard, number 50 on Cashbox, a big number 1 record on WAMS in Wilmington, Delaware. He's being backed up on this one by the Four Jewels. This is from May 1962. Mr. Billy Stewart on the Chess label. It's called Reap What You Sow.
Oh, current lover, I told you that I love you. It's over and over and over. I told you I I miss you. I like the good book said, you'd have to drink just what are you so. I know, no, you're my lover girl, and I'm your lover boy. Love is a little game, let's not take it for a toy. It's like the good book said, you'll have to read just what are you son. What you saw, can't you understand the things we are planned for the years and the years to come? So hard to believe you were meant to be, baby, please come back home. I told you I love you. It's over and over and over and over. Yeah. I told you that I miss you. It's like the good book said. You have to read just what are you so. I know. What you saw. What you saw. It's so true, little baby. So why don't you believe me? You have to read what you saw. Everything something to do wrong.
That's Billy Stewart. Billy Stewart, his second release on the Chess label with the Four Jewels. Not the Jews, the Jewels, the Four Jewels there, May 1962. Billy Stewart with Reap What You Sow. Johnny G reaps what I sow when I play the 45s. That is for sure as we continue here. And up next, a group out of Memphis, Tennessee. They made their debut on the Fernwood label in 1961. A great two-sided doo-wop that I feature on my Saturday night show. It's called Let's Be Sweetheart Again's Back With You and Your Fellow. But they had other releases. I think their next one was on Mid-South. I think that was from 62. And they also recorded for Goldwax Records. Now, this was their second release. First came out on the Goldwax label in May of 60. In March of 1960. In April of 1964. It was picked up by ABC Paramount Records for national distribution a month later. And that's how I have it. And it features Percy Milam. Percy Milam on lead. We go to May 1964. These are the lyrics. The lyrics on ABC Paramount. It's called So Hard to Get Along.
Honey, it's hard. Honey, it's hard. Honey, it's hard. Yeah!
That's originally on the Gold Wax label. I featured on ABC Paramount May 64. Percy Milam and the lyrics there. So Hard to Get Along is the name of the tune. And Mark Speck mentioned it in the chat room. Now, Percy Milam, he would have a couple more solo releases on the Gold Wax label in 1967. Let's continue here. I've been featuring this group from Detroit, Michigan here on the All 60s edition the last few weeks. They're mostly known for their release on the Big Top label back in October 1963, a song called Misery, but they have other releases on Dynamic, and I think that came out on Reprise, Top 10, RCA, and the Cotillion label. Let's give a listen to their third of four on Cotillion, produced by Tommy Cogbill. They recorded this at American Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It features Isaac Zeke Harris on lead. This was a big number 3 record on WEBB in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go to June 1969 and give a listen to the Dynamics. The Dynamics on Cotillion. It's called Ain't No Love at All. I like how Mark Speck put it. It's Detroit meets Memphis. Yes, very interesting there. Those are the Dynamics there. That's with Isaac Zeke Harris on lead, June 1969. That's their third of four for Cotillion Records. Ain't No Love at All is the name of that tune. We move on here on the All 60s edition, and this next gal, she's from East Orange, New Jersey. Now, she is the youngest sister to singer Dionne Warwick and the niece of Cissy Houston. She was born Dahlia Day Warwick? I think that's it, but we know her as Dede Warwick. First recording for the Jubilee label back in 1963. Other releases followed on Blue Rock, a bunch on the Mercury label. Then in 1970, she signed with Atco Records for 5 releases. This is her 4th, and this is a cover song. This song was first recorded by Mark James on the Scepter label back in 1968. But of course, this record was made popular by Elvis Presley in the fall of 1969 on RCA Records. I don't think I'll get a copyright. This isn't the Presley issue, so it should be a different speed for the copyright police. But anyway, this charted number 80 on Billboard, 78 on Cashbox, number 24 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a number 16 record on WJLB in Detroit, Michigan. This is from May 71, a touch of the 70s for Dede Warwick on Atco and her rendition of the tune Suspicious Minds. Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That was recorded as the Muscle Shoals Sound Studios there. Miss Dede Warwick, May 1971 on Atco Records, her rendition of the tune Suspicious Minds. As we continue here for these Suspicious 45s, knock on wood, I've been okay, haven't seen any copyright issues. I'll see as I get toward the midnight hour that they might start, because sometimes it's how they feel, but anyway, let's continue here for this next singer. He's out of Chicago, Illinois. Started recording while he was still attending, Calumet High School on the south side of Chicago, first recording for the local Arnell label. His manager, William Sandy Johnson, was able to get him a contract with Mercury Records and had 2 releases on the Smash subsidiary. And his name is Ronaldo Jones. That's his real name, but because his vocals were sweet like domino sugar, is how he put it, he decided to record as Ronaldo Domino, and that's how he came up with his name. This is his first release on the Smash label, and he arranged it from October 1967, Ronaldo Domino on the Smash label. The song is called Don't Go Away. This record is whipped, so excuse the check marks, but scratch marks, but it is scratchy, but it doesn't play with that horrible hiss. But let's give it a spin here. Don't Go Away.
There's nothing in this whole wide world I wouldn't do for you. 'Cause baby, my baby, I really love you. I couldn't stand losing you to some other man. I couldn't face the fact that loss I wouldn't understand. Night after night I pray to the man up above. Night after night I ask to keep your precious love. Don't go away, darling, won't you stay? Is all I've seen. The night before you closed, you suddenly appeared. Then I knew that all my life I'd have to have you near. Now that you're here with me, my loneliness is gone. Now that you're here with me, nothing can go wrong. Don't go away, ooh, darling, won't you stay? 'Cause baby, I need you, baby, I love you, Don't go away, oh, darling, won't you stay? We gotta love, my dear, I know we'll never die. We gotta love, my dear, it's got to stay alive. 'Cause baby, I need you, baby, I love you. Don't you know I love you? I can't do without you. Oh, baby.
That's Ronaldo Domino, October 1967 release. That's his first of two. Well, what did I say? First of two on Smash? Yeah, first of two on Smash Records. Song entitled Don't Go Away. And this was later released on Blue Rock in December of 1968, actually as a B-side. Then he has some releases on the Twilight label. Some of those records on Twilight of his, they go for a lot of money. Some of them in-demand Northern Soul 45s. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. We're here on Oldies and More Radio, also broadcasting simultaneously on the webcam on YouTube, and hope you're all digging on the tunes. Of course, if you're new to the YouTube program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You need to be signed into YouTube. You'll get notifications via email. If you click the bell, you'll get a notification when Johnny G goes live. You might even get, I don't know when I set up, I've been setting up the preview of the upcoming show, and I don't know how that comes up or shows up. So if you subscribe, I don't know if you have to click that. I think if you click it, and maybe not, I don't know if you have to be signed in or not, but you might be able to click it to still get a notification. I don't know. But anyway, we continue here. This next up, a family trio from New York City, and this was their debut single, came out on Ben Smith's Triode label. Now, the group consisted of Cheveria Edwards and her two brothers. They were F.D. Edwards and Leroy Edwards. And Cheveria, she's singing with one of her brothers. I don't know which one, but definitely one of them. Now, Discogs said that this 45 came out in 1971. I doubt that. I think this is more of maybe a later 1968 or 69 sound. That's what I say. But this is the intended B-side on the Triode record label. This is from, we'll call it late 60s. Okay, that'll have to do. But they're called the Founders. The Founders on the Triode label. I think, Mike Layton, you sold me this 45. It's called What Did We Do Wrong?
Now we started out together in a certain kind of weather. There was love all over your face.
Days were getting groovy, nights start to move me, and all I loved was erased. Tell me now, baby, what did we do so wrong? All of our love is gone, but the feeling is still in our heart. Feeling is still in our heart. I wanna know now, why did we have to part?
Baby, 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 baby.
Now I thought about tomorrow, though my heart was filled with sorrow, 'cause I thought you'd be my bride.
First you tried to school me, and then you tried to rule me. And don't you know it hurt my pride?
Tell me now, baby, what did we do so wrong? All of our love is gone, but the feeling is still in our heart now.
Feeling is still in our heart.
I wanna know now, why did we have to part?
Baby, 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 baby.
I didn't mean to break your heart.
And little boy, I love you from the start.
But whoa, Satan got a hold on me.
And all it brought was misery.
What did we do so wrong? All of our love is gone. Feeling is still in our heart. Why did we have to part?
Baby, baby,
What did we do so wrong?
what did we do?
I'm going to call it late 60s there. The Founders, the name of the group, came out on Ben Smith's Triode record label. Ben Smith goes way back in 1950s, has owned a number of cool labels back in the 50s. I feature him on my Saturday night show. But those are the Founders there. What Did We Do Wrong? That's the B-side of the 45. Actually, the better side, in my opinion. But they have another release that came out on the Boliva label, which I don't own, unfortunately. But let's continue here for this next singer. His name is Eddie Wilson. He had two releases on Don Don Roby's Backbeat record label out of Houston, Texas. And here's the plug side to his second release. This charted number 41 on WRBD in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This one go back to June of 69. Give a listen to Eddie Wilson. Eddie Wilson on Backbeat Records. It's called Get Out in the Street.
Have you ever had an urge deep down inside, filled with emotions but stubborn with pride? Come on, y'all! Get up and get out in the street, y'all. Be friendly to all the people you meet now. Don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs. Come on, y'all. Get on up and get out and have fun. For fun, boy, you ain't nowhere. Come on now. Stand up and let your hair down. Get on up and get out on the town. Good God, you find yourself growing old. Come on now. Get on up and get out on that go now. Listen, there was an old lady who lived in a shoe, had so many children, she didn't know what to do. One day she got smart and put them all in bed. She did the boogaloo while standing on her head. Stood up and let her hair down. She got on up and got out on the town. Listen to me, y'all. She found that she was growing old. She got on up and got out on the go now. She got on up. She got on up, y'all. She got on up. She got out on the town. Stood on up and let her hair down. She got on up. She got on up.
That's Mr. Eddie Wilson. Eddie Wilson from June 69. That's his second release on Don Roby's Backbeat record label. Get Out and In the Street is the name of that tune here. And here's another gal I've been featuring over the last few weeks on the All 60s edition. Her name is Ella Washington. She's originally from Miami, Florida. She had 10 releases on the Soundstage 7 record label. Now, last week I featured her second release. It was called Starving for Love. That was from May 1968. Here's her follow-up to that. This is her third release, a tune written by Mabel Ferguson, produced by JR Enterprises, but this is the intended B-side. I'm going to send this one out to Jerry Nays, and he likes Ella Washington, November 1968. Ella Washington, Soundstage 7 Records. It's called You're Gonna Cry, Cry, Cry.
You gonna do
We'll send that one out to Jerry Nays in our YouTube chat room. Miss Ella Washington. Ella Washington, November 1968 release. That's on the Soundstage 7 record label. That is her, what did I say that was? Her third release on Soundstage 7. It's called You're Gonna Cry, Cry, Cry. Now, the A-side was a very slow, soulful ballad called He Called Me Baby. Let's continue now for this next singer. First based out of New York, and he has recorded for over 16 years, first recording back in 1960 for King Records, but he recorded for many different labels, lots of labels during his career. ABC, Paramount, Jubilee, Old Town, RCA, Roulette, Shout, Avco, Bell, and Daycar. He also worked with all top people in the industry. I mean, Teddy Van, Ralph Bailey, Horace Ott, Johnny Northern, Burt Burns, Gary Sherman, Thomas Glasgow, Eddie Jones, Robert Bateman, Alonzo Tucker, the list goes on, J.J. Jackson, Joe Webb, and more. That is an all-star lineup that he worked with during his career, but he was also a producer, and he ran a couple of production companies and small labels. I think the Mayhew label was one that he ran. But anyway, he did leave New York in 1975, and he moved to North Carolina. Unfortunately, he passed away on July 2nd of 1999 at the age of 59, but left us with some great music. Now, in 1966, he signed with Burt Burns' Shout label for 7 releases. Let's give a listen to his fourth, and it's a song he co-wrote, arranged by Horace Ott. This one charted number 43 on KCHO in Houston, Texas from May 1967. Let's give a listen to Donald Haidt. Donald Haidt on Shout Records. It's called I Can't Get Enough.
Lord, but I can't get enough. But I try to get enough of your loving, baby. You know you're driving me crazy. Girl, you've been better to me than I've been to myself. I said you've been so good, I got to tell somebody else. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, baby. Hey, hey, baby. I can't get enough now. All right, I can't get enough now. Look at here. Like a Romeo, he told Juliet, I love you, baby, I'll never forget. Like Cleopatra told her, and Bunny, you can go away, but you can't leave me. Hey, you a real sinner, you a real life. You a real humdinger, you the apple of my eye. Hey, 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 baby. I can't get enough time. Lord knows I can't get enough now. All right. Ow! Boy. Come on, y'all. Boy. Boy. Ha, ha, ha. Ow! Boy. Ow! Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, baby. I can't get enough now. Baby, got to tell you about it, baby. No, knows I need you, baby. I got to have you, baby, baby. I can't do without you. Oh, baby, I got to get enough. Oh, yeah, I got to get enough, baby, baby, baby. I love you. Oh, ooh, Lord, I need you, baby.
That's the sound of Donald Haidt there, May 1967. That's on the Shout record label. I Can't Get Enough. That's his fourth release for the Shout label. How about a twin spin with Donald Haidt? And let's stay on Burt Burns' Shout record label. Now, this is the B-side to his seventh and final release on the Shout label, and it's actually a cover song. This tune first recorded back in 1954 by Johnny Ace on the Duke record label, but this song covered by so so many artists through the years. And again, this is produced by arranged by Horace Ott. You know, when I see that on a 45, I'm going to buy it. Horace Ott, also produced by Dino Productions. So so was that other single. I think of many of these singles on Shout by Donald Haidt are by Dino Productions. But let's go to June 1968 for Donald Haidt on Shout Records and his rendition of the tune, Never Let Me Go.
Just let me love you tonight. Forget about tomorrow. My darling, won't you hold me tight and never, never let me go. No, never let me go, baby. Dry your eyes. No tears, no sorrow. Cling to me with all of your might and never, never let me go. No, baby, don't leave. A million times or more, darling, we say that we never, never apart. Oh, but lately I find that you're a stranger, stranger in my heart. Give, 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 give me the light. In summer or in springtime, baby, I wanna tell the world that you are mine, and never, 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 never let me go. Leave me, baby, 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 I love you, baby, baby, never let me go.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. Donald Haidt there with a twin spin. That one there from June 1968. That's the B-side to his final release on the Shout label, Never Let Me Go, cover of that Johnny Ace song. As we move on here for this next artist, he is from Hazelwood, Missouri, first recorded as Little Mojo on the Mojo label back in 1960, but he had other releases on Norman Records, Indigo, Redbird, Musicland, Boot Heel, Impress, and this label, the TNG label, which is out of St. Louis, Missouri. His name is Herman Grimes. Herman Grimes, and this is one that charted regionally. This charted number 20 on WGEM out of Quincy, Illinois. Let's go back to May of 1968 for Herman Grimes on the TNG label. It's called Better Than Crying.
If you see me out dancing, don't think I'm happy. It's just better than crying at home by myself. And if you see me smiling, don't think I'm happy. just better than crying at home by myself. Oh, we just broke up and I feel so low. I start to choke up 'cause I love her so. And if you hear me laughing, don't think I'm happy. It's just better than crying at home by myself. Oh, we just broke up and I feel so low. I start to choke up 'cause I love her so. And if you hear me laughing, don't think I'm happy. It's just better than crying at home by myself. It's just better than crying. It's just better than crying. Don't wanna cry no more. Don't wanna cry no more. No, 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 no.
Almost got caught here for the first time tonight. There you go. Herman Grimes. Herman Grimes from May 1968. That's on the TNG record label. Was another label. Town and Something, I think, Charlene. Better Than Crying is the name of the tune. I don't know what's better than crying. Listening to Johnny G here on the All 60s edition. Thank you all for tuning in here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are continuing here. We're not quite over yet. It's only 11:38, so we continue here. Now, up next is a very interesting version of a cover song. Now, this song first done by Leslie Gore back in 1964. Now, this singer who covered this, she goes by the name of Kiana Collins, and she has an earlier release on the Blue Rock label from December of 1968, but this one came out in September of 1969. And there is a post ad, I think, on 45 Cat, if you check it out, and from one of the trade publications, and that's either a Billboard Cashbox or Record World, and it says, the ad says, busting out nationally, over 50,000 sold in 2 weeks. Interesting. You know, they would put those ads in the trade magazines for, you know, all the executives and, you know, the DJs and the radio stations to see. But let's listen to this really soulful version of this song. This came out on the ITCO label, I guess. It is arranged by Riley Hampton, and this song was played on WWRL here in New York and was a number 22 record on WLFC in Lake Forest, Illinois. I think Johnny Madera and David White wrote the tune. Again, this was a big, big hit for Leslie Gore in 64. Let's move all the way up to September 1969. Kiana Collins on ITCO Records, and her rendition of the tune, You Don't Own Me.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. Baby, you don't own me. Don't you ever say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. 'Cause you don't own me.
Don't you ever try to change me in any way. Hey baby, you don't own me. Don't you tie me down, cause I'd never ever stay.
I don't tell you what to say, don't tell you what to do, so just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young, free and I love to be free, to live my life the way I want, to say and do whatever I please.
Hey baby, I dig you, and you're groovy. But if you want to see me again, you listen to what I'm gonna tell you.
Don't tell me what to do, don't you ever tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. I don't tell you what to say, I don't tell you what to do, so just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love being young, I'm free and I dig being free, yeah, to live my life the way I want, to say and do whatever I please. I'm young and I like to be young, I'm free, I just got to be free, to live my life.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Kiana Collins. Kiana Collins with a cover of the Leslie Gore tune You Don't Own Me, September 1969 on the ITCO or ITCO label, whatever you want to call it. Comes out, it's a funky looking label, kind of psychedelic. It also comes on an orange label. Mike Layton again, he gave me copies of that 45. Anyway, let's continue here, and up next, a singer born George L. Crockett around 1929 in Coalition, Mississippi. He then relocated to Chicago, Illinois. He has a release on the Chicago Chief label back in 1958 as G. Davy Crockett. Then in 1965, he signed with Jack Daniels' Four Brothers label for 3 releases, and probably best known for his first release on the label. It's called It's a Man Down There, but here is his third, written by Johnny Moore and label owner Jack Daniels, and also Lorenzo Smith, who was playing sax on this. This is from April 1966. Give a listen to G.L. Crockett. G.L. Crockett on the Four Brothers label. It's called Gonna Make You Mine.
Everybody's happy, having a good time. GL is standing in the corner, wishing you were mine, 'cause I need you. Baby, can't you see my sign? I wanna take you in my arms and make you mine, all mine. Yes, I do. You know you don't need nobody wasting up your time. But if you listen, baby, believe I could change your mind. I need you. Gonna love you till the end of time. Alright. I wanna take you in my arms and make you mine, all mine. Alright. Come on, baby, let's make a new start. I got a place reserved here in my heart. Come on, baby, I need you with loving every day. I wanna take you into my arms, love you all kind of ways and things. I need you with love every day, girl, and love you all kind of ways. Yes, I do. Well, in the morning, in the evening, I need you with love. Around about midnight, I need you with loving. Every minute, every second too. Gee, I need you. I need you. Oh, baby.
G.L. Crockett there from April 66 on the Four Brothers record label. Gonna Make You Mine is the name of the tune. He has one on Checker. I have that one on Checker also from 1965. Let's continue now for this next group. They originated out of Washington, D.C. Their origins, though, go back to 1958. They were part of the quintet Tiny Tim and the Hits. You might know their 1958 doo-wop release on the Roulette label called Wedding Bells, but here they are 5 years later. Three members of that group, William Collier, Samuel Cully, and Irvane Walters, would get together and form as the Diplomats, and in 1963 they signed with A-Rock Records for 3 releases. Then they had 2 on the Wand label. This is their first of 2 for Wand. As we go back to February 1965, let's listen to the Diplomats on Wand. It's called There's Still a Tomorrow.
Sometimes there's a happiness, sometimes there's a sorrow. Don't you give up, my friend. There's still a tomorrow. Sometimes you feel like crying, sometimes you feel like dying. Please don't let it cause you sorrow. There's still a tomorrow. Yeah. When the road is dark, baby, and you can't find your way, so don't you fret, my friend. Another day. Sometimes when all the hope is lost, sometimes, oh, you can pay the cost. Please don't let it cause you sorrow. There's still a tomorrow. Yeah, oh yeah. When the road is dark, baby, and you can't find your way, so don't you fret, my friend. Now there will be another day. Sometimes when all the hope is lost, sometimes, oh, you can pay the cost. Please don't let it cause you sorrow. There's still a tomorrow.
That's the great sound of the Diplomats there. February 65 release. Came out on the Wand record label. There's Still a Tomorrow. Yes, we can always hope for that, I'm sure. But they would add a 4th member and have releases on the Minute and also Dynamo Records, a number of releases on Dynamo. I think there were a couple members that went in and out of the group on those Dynamo releases, but still a great group there. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, this gal, she's originally from Richmond, Virginia. She recorded 9 singles between 1960 1962, and 1981, and all on different labels. 9 different labels. Now, her first came out on the 4B record label. Her next release came out on Shell. I've played that one. It was called They're Laughing at Me, and I featured that on the May 16th, 2022 show, 60 show, so you can hear it there. But here is one she did on Max and Sol Weiss's Galaxy label. Galaxy Records is out of Berkeley, California. This one produced by Ray Shanklin. We go to February 1968 and give a listen to Gail Anderson. Gail Anderson on the Galaxy label. It's called I Can't Stop It.
When you told me that we were through, secretly, baby, I still love you. I thought maybe it wouldn't matter, but it isn't getting any better. I can't stop it. No, I can't stop it, baby. I can't stop it. Yes, it is now. I said, doctor, won't you help me, please? Will you set my mind at ease? My head hurts me all the time, and I'm slowly going out of my mind. Oh, but I'll stop it. No, I can't stop it, baby. Oh, yes, it is now. One day I'll get over this love I have for you, yeah. And when it happens, baby, I'll know just what to do. No more holding on to old love affairs. And then I'll admit that nothing else is there. Now I'm looking for that day when I can truly and gladly say, you don't move me, you don't move me no more, you can't hurt me, no, as before. And then I'll stop it, baby, I'm gonna stop it, yeah, I'm gonna stop it, yeah, I'm gonna stop this feeling, don't you know, baby, tearing me apart now. Yes, you are, yeah. I'm gonna have to leave you, daddy, because you tear my heart in two. I'm gonna have to put you down. Oh, yes, I am.
Her name is Gail Anderson. Gail Anderson, February 68 release. It came out on the Galaxy label out of California. I Can't Stop It. Johnny G can't stop spinning these 45s. Hopefully you can tell how much enjoyment. I know Chipper always does. I just like to play the records. What could I say as we continue here? Up next, this singer from born in Mart, Texas. First recording on the Great Scott Recording Company label. And the lead singer, his name is Frank Lee Jones, but he would go by Little Frankie Lee. And label owner Don Roby would get wind of this record that came out on the Great Scott Recording label and wanted to put it out on his Peacock label, which he ended up doing, but not before he arranged some overdubbing. So I never heard the original version of it, but somebody mentioned it, I think on 45 Cat, that this release on Peacock was overdubbed. So that's how I have it. And this was his first of 3 on the Peacock label, written by the lead singer. His name is Frankie Lee Jones, but this is from September 63, Little Frankie Lee and the Saxtons. Little Frankie Lee and the Saxtons on the Peacock label. It's called Don't Make Me Cry.
Wanted me to be your guy, but you were only telling a lie. Oh darling, yeah, don't make me cry, don't make me cry. My eye like a falling rain. I know that I caused you so much pain, but oh darling, no, don't make me cry, don't make me cry. Said that our love was over, and that was not meant to be. But now you are here in clover. Now listen to what you're doing. Begging to come back to me. I just can't leave my wife. I vow to give that little girl all of my life. Oh darling, no, don't make me cry. No, don't make me cry.
That's little Frankie Lee and the Saxtons there, September 1963. That's the first of three on Don Robey's Peacock Records out of Houston, Texas. Don't Make Me Cry is the name of the tune. As we start to wind down here, we'll do a couple more as we go into overtime for Byron listening over in California, so we'll do that. And this next gal, she's from Harlem, New York. She first recorded as Little Sylvia back in the 1950s. Her name was Sylvia Vanderpool, and she was half of the duet of Mickey and Sylvia. You know Mickey and Sylvia that did Love is Strange on the Groove label, 1957 maybe? But she also recorded as Sylvia Robbins. This is a solo effort by her second of two on Juggy Murray's Sue record label. This tune written by Rudy Clark, produced by Juggy Murray, arranged by Horace Ott. Now, this charted number 24 on WDRC in Hartford, Connecticut. So let's go back to July 64 and give a listen to Sylvia Robbins. It's on the Sue label. It's called Our Love.
Our love will never die.
July 1964 release for Sylvia Robbins, a.k.a. Sylvia Vanderpool, the other half of Mickey and Sylvia, a solo effort there on the Sue record banner called Our Love. And let's continue here. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. You don't mind if I play a couple records in overtime, I hope, but we head to Cleveland, Ohio for this next group, first recording as the Womack Brothers, and it launched the careers of five brothers: Bobby, Cecil, Curtis, Friendly Jr., and Harry Womack, singing gospel until Sam Cooke transformed them into a crossover R&B act known as the Valentinos, and they recorded for Cooke's SAR record label. Let's give a listen to their second of five, the tune written by Curtis Womack. I think he's the one on lead for this. This is arranged by Renee Hall, charted number 48 on KFXM. If you were listening in San Bernardino, California, we go to January 1963. These are the Valentinos on the SAR record label. It's called Darling, Come Back Home. That's the second of five for the Valentinos on Sam Cooke's SAR record label, January 63 release. Darling, Come Back Home is the name of that one. They would have two more, I think two on the Chess label that are in demand, by the way. 1966, and in 68 they signed with Jubilee for two more. I think I have one of the Chess releases and both of the Jubilee releases. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Up next, bluesman Willie Walker. He was born in Hernando, Mississippi, but raised in Memphis, Tennessee. First recording for the Gold Wax label in 1967 as Wee Willie Walker. Then he signed with Checker Records for two. Now this is the B-side to his first Checker release. We go back to March 1968 for Willie Walker. Willie Walker on the Checker label. It's called You're Running Too Fast.
Girl, you're running too fast till you can't read the sign.
As Willie Walker. Willie Walker from March 1968. That's on the Checker label. Mark says it came out on Gold Wax. I didn't even know it came out on the Gold Wax label. That's Willie Walker there with You're Running Too Fast. Johnny G not running out of gas yet, although, like I said, I got to take my father up to the Veterans Hospital tomorrow morning, so I got to leave early. It's going to shoot the day for me. But I'm getting in the show here tonight as we continue. We are in overtime here. I hope you don't mind. I'm playing some overtime 45s. And I'm guessing this next gal, she's out of New York City. Now, she would have 3 releases on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. This is her second, a tune written and produced by Teddy Van, arranged and conducted by Horace Ott. When I see those on the label, I'm going to buy the 45. And this one is from April of 1966. Let's give a listen to June Adams. June Adams on the Roulette record label. It's called River Keep Movin'.
I've gotta keep moving till I find my man. Now I work hard both night and day. While I was working, my man went away. So river, keep keep moving, river keep moving, don't stop, river now. I've gotta keep moving till I find my man. So I caught me a ship and I took sail. Chase that girl. And when I find him, believe me, I will. I'm gonna hold him in my arms, for I love him still. Mr. River, keep moving. I'm gonna make sure that he stays for good. Mr. River, keep moving. I'll stay home and love him like a woman should. Mr. River, keep moving. River, keep moving.
As June Adams there, that is her second of, her second of 3 on Roulette Records, April 1966 release. June Adams with River Keep Movin'. I have featured her first here on the All 60s show. It's called The Human Race from December 65. That is a nice tune also. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on YouTube. Up next, a talented singer, pianist, and producer from New Orleans, Louisiana, born Edwin Joseph Bocage. First recording for Ace Records back in 1955. In 1956, he moved to Bess Berman's Apollo Records here in New York City. Others on Checker, Chess, Rip, Swan, At Last, Cinderella, Arrow, Nola, Blue Jay. Wow, all these labels for this singer brings us to the 7B label, where he had 6 releases. Let's give a listen to his third. And he recorded using under the name Eddie Bo. Now, this is the B-side to his third release from February 1967. This is Eddie Bo. Eddie Bo on 7B Records. It's called Fence of Love.
Build a fence of love around you. So many other girls have brought me unhappiness, but my heart tells me you're not like all the rest. They say if you find true romance, hold on with everything. Don't take no chance. You got to build a fence around her. 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 Build it so low she can't get under it, so high she can't get over it, so wide she can't get around it. Yeah. And grooving. Hit it.
That's a third of 6 for Eddie Bo. Eddie Bo from February 67. Fence of Love is the name of the tune. That's actually the B-side of the 45. The A-side was called Just Friends. 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here on the All 60s edition. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. But up next, this singer from Central Arkansas made his debut as the lead singer of the Mint Juleps on the United Southern Artists Inc. record label. I think that was in 1961. It took 4 years for him to have this next release. His real name is Jim Bohannon, but he recorded as Bohannon. And here's his second overall release. It came out on the Eskee record label, Eskee. Jelly Beans recorded on the Eskee label. I have that 45. This is arranged by Paul Griffin and Sid Shaw. This one from December 1965. Bohannon is his name. It's on Eskee Records. It's called Stop Me from Falling in Love.
One
That's Bohannon. Bohannon is his name. That one there from December 1965. That came out on the Esky record label. It's a rare 45 by the Jelly Beans on the Esky label. I should pull that out to play again. Stop Me From Falling in Love. Well, that's going to stop Johnny G from continuing here. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. I will take your requests there for both this show, which is the All 60s show, or also the 50s show in early 60s. So if you have a request, you can send it to me like Cheryl Morgan did. I just saw her email pop in my my mailbox there. So if I have the 45, I'll play it. I'm still looking for some for Jimmy Amato, so I haven't found them yet, but if I have them checked off in my book, my Ken Klee book, I'll find them eventually in this mess of 45s. Remember, I have 150,000 or 160,000, I think now, or more 45s. So it takes me a while to look for them. So my retirement is now monopolized by my record collection. So you just have to be patient, and I will eventually find it or get the record. But thank you again for tuning in tonight. And also, if you missed any of the show, those of you that are like the YouTube visual, it should be posted immediately after I sign off, so it should be there, but the chat will not be there, unfortunately. They run it through filters, and let's just keep our fingers crossed I have no copyright. I haven't seen anything come up tonight. It's kind of amazing. Sometimes it's one after another, you violating the copyright thing. It goes under my screen as I broadcast. So I don't know what's going on with them. But tonight it was nothing. Maybe they gave me a reprieve. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. We have a closer, though. Our closer tonight is, this gal. She's from Beaumont, Texas. Her name is Barbara Lynn Ozen, and she shortened it to Barbara Lynn, and her debut single came out on Huey Moe's Eric label. The song was called Give Me a Break in 1962. I like that record. I should pull it out to play here on the show. But she signed with Jamie Records later that year, and her first release on Jamie was her biggest hit. You know the song. It's called You'll Lose a Good Thing. But she also played guitar, and she played it left-handed. That's not easy to do. But after 15 releases on the Jamie label, she signed with the Tribe label for 4 releases. Let's give a listen to her second, a tune written by Rick Hall, Dan Penn, and Oscar Frank. Also produced by Huey Moe. This charted number 110 on the Billboard charts. It bubbled under only at 110. Was number 47 on the R&B charts. This record was played, if you were listening to WMCA here in New York, it was number 37 on that station, and also a number 11 record on WAME in Miami, Florida. Our closer tonight is from August 66, the great Barbara Lynn on Tribe. It's called You Left the Water Running. That's it, folks. Johnny G's got to get out of here and shut the water. I left it running. So that's going to do it for the All 60s show. Join me next Wednesday again at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Oldies and More Radio. Also, or live on YouTube. Tell your friends about it. If you're new to the program, you're just visualizing Johnny G, please subscribe to my YouTube page, and also click the bell to get notifications when I am live, and give me a thumbs up if you will. Hopefully you enjoyed the sounds tonight. That's going to do it, folks. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Couldn't do it without the help of Charlene. Everybody have a safe remainder of the week. I'll see some of you Saturday night at 9 o'clock right here on YouTube for my 50s and early 60s show. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
You left the water running when you left me here behind. You left water running from these eyes of mine. You turned out the light of love, you left with another girl. You turned off all your love for me, you forgot to turn off the cry. You forgot to turn off the cry. You pulled the shares away down low, you disconnected the telephone, yeah. But these tears are running from my eyes, you can't turn them off and on. 'Cause baby, you left the water running when you left me here behind. Don't you know that you left the water running from these eyes of mine? You locked the door and left my heart outside, and then you threw the key away. But you'll regret and you'll be upset when you get your water bill today. 'Cause darling, you left the water running when you left me here behind. I say that you left the water running from these eyes of mine. Don't you know that you left the water running from these eyes of mine? Yeah, running from these eyes of mine. Yeah, running from these eyes of mine. Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's it. Let me show you the Tribe single. Here you go. Pick this record up. I used to go to flea markets when I was in high school, I guess. And it's my senior year. I purchased my 1971 Chevy Impala, and I used to drive around. I used to go to garage sales and flea markets, and it's, you know, one of the coolest things is when you come across, it was a fully intact, you know, like when those five and dime stores like Woolworths would sell the 45s 5 for $1 or 4 for $1, but this was an old one. It was like on a cardboard. It was like a cardboard stand, and the guy didn't have the bottom to it. He just had the top. So he pulled out all these records. They were all, like, nobody looked through them, but I did. And they were all $0.25 a piece, and there were cool records like that, stuff on the VIP label, on the Motown label, all cool stuff from the mid-1960s. This was at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market. When I used to go in Yonkers, New York, I would find a lot of cool records there. Now it's like all commercial stuff, socks and jewelry and wood and T-shirts and whatnot. But once in a while, if you go to one of those old-fashioned flea markets, and you can find certain things also from garage sales. Although if everybody moved out and you got people from the 70s now moving out, you're not going to find any good records. And that was kind of disappointing for me because I didn't have time to go look for the records. So I would drive around. This is when I was working and I was making decent money, I guess. It's not that I had the time to drive around on a Saturday to look for 45s, but I was finding, you know, all these disco singles, and I said, that's not going to do it for me. So I kind of stopped it. But now I'm dabbling a little bit. There's like a couple record stores around, and they don't really care about 45s. They sell them like 5 for $1, 6 for $1, and I'm looking through. I may find some trash soul records, and that's what I've been focusing on now because I play a lot of soul records now on this Wednesday night show. So I've played a lot. You know, how many did I play tonight, Charlene? What did I play? I played that Barbara Lynn record was number 48, but I think, did I play one flip side, I think, for Mark? So I paid 49 records, and that took me almost, here it is 12:30 as I'm babbling on, but time to go here. Like I said, I got to get up to take my father tomorrow morning. So everybody, stay well. Tell your friends about it. Subscribe to the show, and thanks for the thumbs up. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.